Have you ever heard of the English phrase, fake it till you make it? It's a very common phrase in English, and it means to behave like the person you want to become. And if you pretend to be like that person for long enough, then eventually it will no longer be pretend, but real. Many of my students often complain about a lack of confidence when speaking English at work. And they tell me if they had more confidence in their speaking, then they would be able to close more business deals, form better business relationships with their colleagues and clients, and they would be more respected by their clients, colleagues, and managers. So the burning question is this: how do we be more confident when speaking in English, even if we aren't confident to begin with? Let's discuss. Hi there, this is Andrew Smith from We Speak Business. Really grateful for your time today. And before we jump in with today's video, I'd like to offer you something that I think is really going to help you not only be more confident in speaking English at work, but I think it will also really help your pronunciation, your vocabulary, your grammar, your listening, and your speaking. And what I have for you is a free 2-hour seminar where I walk you through step by step how you can start speaking better business English in just 30 days. And I've taught the exact same things to my previous VIP students, and I know that these tips and techniques work, and I would like to share them with you because they are super important and super useful. So if you are someone who speaks or uses English at work, or if you are someone who wants to get a higher paying job at an international company and needs to improve their English so you can succeed in your new role, then this seminar is for you, and I know you're going to love what we have for you. So it's completely free, 100% free. You don't have to pay for anything. And if you want to join the free seminar, you can find the link in the description box above and reserve your spot there. All right, so let's get into the main part of today's video. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 things that you can immediately do to sound and appear more confident in English, even if you aren't. Now, you can apply these tips straight away and practice them with your colleagues and customers, and I promise you that they will make the world of difference in how you sound and how others perceive you as an English speaker. So the first tip of today is all about your attitude. Have you or someone you know ever entered a situation where you have to speak English, and before you have even begun your conversation, you've said, "Oh, I'm sorry in advance for my poor English," or "My English isn't as good as yours, so sorry if I make some mistakes." Now ask yourself for a second, what's wrong with saying these kinds of things? Basically, you are telling that other person what they can expect from you. Because as soon as you say, "My English isn't good," or "I make a lot of mistakes," then that other person will start paying attention to those mistakes. For example, if I said to you right now, "Do not think of your dad dressed as a pirate." But as soon as I said that, you instantly thought of your dad dressed as a pirate. And it's exactly the same thing when we tell someone about our level of English. So instead of apologizing and making excuses, simply smile, introduce yourself, and get on with it. That other person knows that English is not your first language, so they will never expect for you to be perfect and to speak English perfectly. Now, tip number 2 is to have good vocal presence. Now, what do I mean by good vocal presence? If someone has good vocal presence, they speak in a deeper, fuller voice, which people can understand clearly. Because if you start speaking very quietly and very very softly like this, then other people aren't going to understand you and they are going to instantly think that you aren't confident. Now, there are some great ways that you can practice your vocal presence. Let's say that you have a big presentation to deliver and there are a lot of people watching. You need to make sure that you have good vocal presence and that your voice is well heard by the audience. So just before the presentation, do some vocal warm-ups and tongue twisters to get your voice going. There are lots of great vocal exercises and tongue twisters that you can find online and on YouTube where you can watch and practice. And by warming your voice up, you know that people are going to hear you and believe in that confidence that you are showing. The final tip, tip number 3, is about intonation. Intonation is how our voice rises and falls when we speak. So we have rising intonation going up and falling intonation going down. And each type of intonation is used in English for different sentences and ideas. When we know this and practice this, the listener notices and they are really impressed because you sound just like a native speaker when you talk. So typically, when we are asking a yes or no question in English, we use a rising intonation. For example, do you want to go to the bank? Are you tired? Are you hungry? Using a rising intonation for questions shows uncertainty. We aren't sure what the answer will be. Now, when we are giving a statement, we often will use a rising, falling intonation. So our voice goes up at the end and then goes down at the very end, like so. My name's Andrew. Nice meeting you. Good job. Using the correct intonation adds a bit more emotion and authenticity to our speech, and this makes us come across as more confident to the listener. So, our 3 big ideas for sounding more confident when speaking English, even if you aren't, are: number 1, have the right attitude. Don't apologize for having a low level of English and don't pre-warn others about the mistakes you might make. It makes you sound unconfident and weak. Secondly, have good vocal presence. Speak fully and deeply and avoid speaking too quietly or too softly. Speaking loudly enough for people to hear you shows confidence in both yourself and your speaking ability. Finally, try to use the correct intonation when speaking. Use rising intonation at the end of yes or no questions and rising falling intonation when making statements. Doing so will give your speech more credibility and more emotion. If you apply those 3 little things I have just shared with you, then I promise you that your clients and colleagues and boss will start to see you as a more confident English speaker. So, at the start of this video, I briefly explained about our exclusive free seminar on how to speak better business English in 30 days. And if you like this video, then the next step for you is to come to our seminar where I'm really going to go into depth on confidence and speaking English at work. So if you want to watch, then click the link in the description box to reserve your seat now. And before we go, a little quick exercise for you. In the comment section, I want you to write a specific situation where you dread speaking in English. Maybe it's a meeting, or perhaps it's when giving a presentation. But I really want to know which situations you feel the most unconfident in so I can help you even more. Leave a comment below with your situations and I really look forward to reading them. Thanks for hanging out with me today. It's been a pleasure as always, and I look forward to seeing you in the free seminar and the next video. Bye for now.